Hello, and thank you for joining the session. Today we're going to continue working on our chatbot. On the last session, we did a little bit of review on everything that we've done so far. The only thing we still have left to handle is some stuff with some Twitch, handling refresh of the OAuth for reconnecting Fergie. We did run into some real-time issues with YouTube. Not really sure what was up with that, but I might have to do some more work on that offline. And Discord seemed to work pretty well for the most part, but I left the bot running overnight in production and it started to do some weird things. So it looks like maybe Discord disconnected and it didn't reconnect again. It's probably similar to the issues that I have with Fergie and Twitch, just being able to handle the case when these persistent connections go down. So the last thing that we worked on was part of our live interface. If I go to admin/live, my bad. What we're going to see here is the start of our chat platform. So we can actually see that the session itself is online. We can see the real-time list of the number of viewers, and then we have the information in here to start showing the screen. So what I need to do now is start up our consumer locally. There we go, start consuming messages and start running the bot locally. And then we need to push the stream online locally. And once we do that, we're going to start getting a bunch of cool information here. Passing through where the bot's actually actively working on something. So what we can do then is look at the test version and look at our logs. So it looks like we're not getting any chat messages left or yet, which is fine. Let's see what the first one was. I actually don't know what that was going to be. So I'm going to go in and let's see here. I'm going to try and send a message on Discord. And so we're going to see that message pop up here on our consumer. And it now pops up here as well. So we can see that it's come all the way from the chat client that I have, or the Discord chat client, through to the bot, from the bot into the queue, and then from the queue into JavaScript. So this is kind of our kicking off point for where we're at today. I'd like to stop this from scrolling. So let's go ahead and increase this interval. I'll copy this just for now. Say, there we go. And let's change it to maybe 20 seconds instead of 2 seconds. And then kick it off once manually. So let's see what happens here. If I reload this page, we should get one response back, but we don't. I don't know if it's always, I wonder if it's failing. Well, let's do, looks like we did get one. I don't know why it took so long to come back though, because this should be executing right away. Poll. Let's try like this. Oh, so we are actually getting it up here. I wonder if we're getting a message the first, an error the first time. Let's do then. Error. Also, it just takes a long time to come back. Cannot read property get of undefined. Okay, so all right, so the problem here is that the very first time we're doing this, Axios hasn't been loaded yet. And then on future calls, it has been. So we need to put this bit of code. I didn't put this in an onload section because it didn't matter for this particular bit of code. Everything was going to be rendered already, so I think that's probably why. I think I have in admin, actually let's go to the admin base. I'm not actually using admin base, never mind. So we're using app.js. Ooh, we're not even using admin.js, so that's a thing. So I have these defined in other places, so I'm going to move that here as well. This is just some of these helper methods that I've been using quite a bit so that I don't have to use jQuery. So I need to run everything inside ready. So if I do window Astrocast ready and wrap this in there, we should be good to go. Well, let's see if we can get that first message like we were expecting. Okay, cool. So we get 3 messages right away. Looks like I'm getting some other message from Discord and someone on Twitch. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, I'm going to say that's probably Joe. Yep, Supernova on both Discord and on Twitch. So thanks for tuning in, Joe/Supernova. Okay, so we've kind of verified that this bit of the code still works. The thing that we want to do is use this code up here. So we're already rendering this. So I'm going to remove the message from Tobias. I'm going to try something new that I haven't tried before, which is part of the reason I'm doing these sessions. I want to be able to experiment with things that I wouldn't probably take the time to do otherwise. So I'm going to try and use HTML templates. I think if I understand this correctly, this is going to do nothing. These should still be clickable, but or they should not clickable. They should still be selectable by JavaScript. They are in the DOM, but they won't be rendered. So I just want to double check and make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. All right, cool. So we didn't actually see the message, which is what I was expecting. So I'm going to give this an ID. Let's go session chat message. And I'm going to move this outside of the messages container. So we have messages, just so that I don't know what it would do if I start appending things in here. So I'm just going to move the template out of there. And let's go back down to where we have our polling. So we're not going to worry about this anymore. Let's see what we have in here. So it's our error, but we want our success handler. Okay, so we have the information that we need. We set the next page token, so this comes through later. So now we can pull apart this message thing. So what I'm going to do is get this template. So let's do var message template document.get element by ID. So let's do need to double check to make sure my notifications are off. Good. All right, so so we have the template. What I should be able to do then is also get the messages container. And for every message that comes in, I'm not going to do anything different except for, we'll do var this message equals clone deep. Actually, messages container, messages template dot clone. And we'll do deep because we want the whole thing. And then let's do messages container dot append child this message. Now, what I'm expecting to see here is 3 messages showing up, and I don't see them. Let's see, I can do I would have expected to see something here. Get that error is not a function at poll. Let's see. I don't understand this. Get rid of that for now. Maybe error is the wrong thing to try to do there. All right, so we are getting the data, so we're showing that, but we're not actually cloning things correctly. So this message, it does look like it should be working. We actually look like we have messages container reused here. This message, append message, this message. I thought that's all we needed to do with HTML templates. Let me double check. HTML template tag. Template.content. I wonder if that's the thing that I was not doing right. Okay, so we did get one message, which is good. But then what we need to do for count, no, length. All right, so it's only putting it in once. So why is that happening? Message template. trivial. So we do append child, template content. Don't imagine I would need to do this, but well, I guess you do. All right, so we're getting the information now directly from JavaScript, which is useful. Let's see here. Make sure I have my other chats up and running. All right, so now the bits inside I'm already working with in other places. So let's see how I was doing that up here. Stream is online. Okay, so this message body text content equals response data messages. I think it's just message is the value. Yeah, so we have message. I'll do this actually. Now we should actually see, oh, something wrong. This stop message. What's it complaining about? Promise this message get element by class name is not a function. Oh. So it's getting the content. So what I actually need to do is get the live node. So flexibility with slots, content. So it looks like I might be cloning the wrong node. So I can clone template content. See if that gives a little better response. Still no. This message, get element by class name, is not a function. Okay, so let's find out why that's the case. What is this message? It's a document fragment. Yeah, so it doesn't have get element. So we can only use this on an element, not a fragment. I wonder if you can pass in a fragment. Create document fragment. It uses the lightweight version of document. Document. Query. Maybe I can use the query selectors instead. Query. Message body is a class. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. So query selector. Text content of undefined. All right. Okay, cool. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So we're actually getting the information in. We can, what was the source type? Let's see. Yeah, so source underscore type. So we need to do the same thing for Twitch. So let's do for our template. So message author avatar. And this will be interesting though. I'm going to leave that for now. We got message timestamp. So the problem here is that we're doing inline SVGs, which is fine normally, but doing that dynamically could be weird. So I think what we need to do is, I don't know. See if we can get some of this other information working. Message author. I think I might be able to create a bunch of these. Let's see what happens if I do this. I should then be able to all right. I should need to take a break for a quick second. I'll be right back. All right, so if we have enough templates that we can do this for each of our types, I think we might be able to work with this. So Twitch, Discord, let's see what else we have. YouTube. Okay, so let's keep track of these. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did here. All right, so then once we have those, we should be able to use message source type to select. Actually, let's do it that way. So it makes it easier for us to actually code this, because I don't think it really matters any other way. So we'll do Twitch. This actually solves an issue I had when we were doing this in pure Twig, where I wasn't sure it would always be exactly named correctly like this. So this way, we have some flexibility. If the icon name is in a completely different location for one of the services, then we don't have to worry about it. For example, if we end up doing an Astrocasts icon, it's probably not going to be in Simple Icons where the rest of these are coming from. So this would help handle that case. All right, so we now have icons, and we can set, what was it, message source type? Source. Yeah. All right, so message source type content is going to be icons dot message dot source type, and it was content dot clone. Let's see if that works. Something didn't like that. Icons message source type is not a function. Message template, we're getting that the same way. The only thing would be if that didn't exist for some reason. So let's do so it's a document fragment with the SVG. All right, so that makes sense. But what's it complaining about? Content.clone is not a function. So content, was it clone nodes? Yeah, clone node. All right, so that was just a simple JavaScript thing. So clone node. Awesome. So we're getting a document fragment in there. So how do we actually get the content? Message source type, I think. Let's do append child. Okay, so that's working. So we see the Discord icons for the Discord messages, and we see Twitch for the Twitch message. So that's coming through all right. We don't have the display names yet, so this is where things are probably going to be a little, I kind of want to start pulling some of this out because we're handling this right now with polling, but eventually I'd like to be able to get this information in by some other mechanism as well. So what I think I'm going to do, let's do a pen chat message. And we'll take in message. Means we can move this stuff. Oops. A bunch of this into here, but not all of it. So we want to pen chat message and pass in this value. Now this alone should get us back to where we were previously, except now we can worry about handling all of this in one location. All right, so that still seems to be working. So I might even want to try and do some JavaScript promises or something here. Let's do the timestamp first because I know we can do that. Just copy this here. Message timestamp. I think that was, what's that value look like? Just timestamp, okay. All right, so it's not very pretty, but at least it does the job, so I'm okay with that. Okay, so it's still doing that just fine. So it's actually copying this first node, which is how that's working right now. It's not very smart. This is still more of a mock-up than anything because it's my personal code or my personal stuff. So I don't mind having it be very mock-up oriented. Okay, so let's see here. What we need to do is have a placeholder. So where we have the avatar currently, template, let's get that first. So this avatar, let's, I think I'm going to try and use Gravatar's placeholder. So let's see here. Default. I want this one. So that's mystery person. Use FY. So now we should see mystery person instead of Beau. Oh, I want, how do I do, default. D, okay. So it took me a second, it's just not highlighted very well. Where did it go? Here we go. So it's not very easy to see what's going on there, but that's why I picked that. So when a message loads the first time, we're going to see the default person until we get the actual username. We're probably going to do something similar with the message author because the ID doesn't necessarily make sense. So we're going to want to we're going to want to set those values after we've decoded them from wherever they came from. So let's see now. We could wait to show all of it until that stuff comes back, but I think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to try to do it like this. So the things that we know that we don't have to ask for help on are these bits. The author ID and the display name are the two things that we don't, or the avatar and the display name are the two things that we don't have. What was the avatar? Here we go. So these are the two things that are going to require us to do some work. This message, query selector. And this is where I'm going to set href to something else. Let's see, this should give me a 404, possibly. No. Let's see what it's actually doing here. So let's see. href, oh, it did. Ah, it's because it's not an href, it's src. Good job, Beau. All right, so now we have broken images, so that's fine. So essentially what we're going to need to do now is offload back to the server the translation of message author information. So kind of what we were doing up here with Axios, we're going to do the same thing. So let's do, and then for this URL, let's do admin live, and let's do author info. And let's do, I think I'm going to do post actually. So we'll do post author info. I think I can do, let me look up Axios post real quick, just to make sure that I have it right. Get.post. Okay, so I can just do a simple object. So we'll do author ID. And then avatar. Actually, I don't need that. I just need to pass the author ID. Then we can do then. We should get back inside response data. We'll do display name and response data avatar URL. And that should be all we need to do. We can do catch. Could not get author info. All right. This is going to fail because we don't actually have the ability to do these things yet. So let's go to our live controller. Let's add a new route. I think I'm going to do some stuff with cache for this, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that just yet. So to start out with, I'm going to just use, I'm just going to do raw requests, at least the first time. So admin live chat messages, admin live info. I'm going to restrict this to post. So you can only do it with post methods. There was one other piece of info we needed to pass. We need to pass the type. So let's see here. Author ID, and we need to do source type dot source type, so that we know whether we're looking for Twitch or Discord or whatever. All right, so we have the request. Let's get the source type post query. All right, so the responses we're looking for are display name, avatar URL. So there's a bunch of things that we could probably do here. We could probably break this out into a service, but for right now, I think I'm going to try and keep it simple. I'm going to just say display name is going to be the let's do source type $author ID. Looks like I named that variable incorrectly. And then avatar URL, I'm going to leave empty for now. And I'm going to switch this code to be a little smarter and say var avatar URL, because in case there is no avatar URL, I don't want it to be broken. So I'm going to say avatar URL, and then set the attribute to the avatar URL, but only if avatar URL is not equal to empty string. So that way we can keep the default person icon. So it looks like we didn't do something right there. Let's see if we got an error. We didn't. Okay. So it's setting the display name. Let's see. I don't know if it's actually making that request or not. Oh, it is getting display name is empty. So I think this might be the wrong value. So it's not, it's a post. No. I really should know this. Request? That's probably it. Let's see. Could not get author info, could not set property text content of null. All right, so that's a different error. All right. Could not get author info. Oh, I wonder if this message is getting lost. Message author. So I'm still not getting the right information here, so let's see. Request, get and post variables respectively. So I should be getting that, but it looks like I'm not. Let's check network. Okay, so author info. Post. So it's sending those. And the response is coming back empty. I wonder if I have those values wrong. So we have author ID and source type. Author ID, source type. Author info, parameter bag is empty. Oh, sending as JSON body. It's not sending parameters. Okay. For some reason, I thought Symfony was smart enough to handle that, but it's not. So let's see here. And then data. So it sent information, we got back display name. All right, so let's see if the JavaScript is now having issues. Could not get author info, cannot set property text content of null. All right. I think I wonder if this is a scoping issue. So I don't know why it would be null there. It does say it's a document fragment. I'm going to try this before and after. So I really think it's probably the case that it's forgetting what it is. Document fragment. All right, so we're doing that up here. Query selector, text content. Why would we not have message author? Set one that we do know exists. Timestamp. Because we know that it's setting the timestamp correctly. So if we get these updated, then we know it's something specifically with, yeah. So it does look like this is not working. Let's see, display name. Wonder if I can figure out what this document fragment contains. Child nodes. Yeah, it's empty. Let's see if this fixes it. If this fixes it, then I think I might have to stop doing stuff here. It doesn't look like it matters, though. This message, clone nodes. Actually, these are all empty too. I wonder if this is why. I think as soon as the message is appended to the messages container, it loses its context. It effectively becomes another instance of that DOM element. If that's true, what we can do is do that after the fact, and also do that in the case of errors. If this works the way I think it does, then I think I need to change it a little bit. Let's do that. So in both cases, as soon as we get this information back, we're going to append this message. Let's see if that works. Yep, so it's setting this information correctly. So what we actually want to do is say message timestamp. We want message author. All right, so just to be clear, what's happening here is that as soon as we append this message, this is at which point the templated node becomes an actual node, which means that apparently the original node loses all, or the original cloned node loses all of its state, which is why we weren't able to query on it anymore, which is kind of a pain. And it sort of makes sense after the fact, but not so much beforehand. So that's what's going on here. So really, this whole section of code should probably be changed a little bit to be a little more straight ahead. So let's see here. Let's see if we can real quickly do something with author info. And let's do user OAuth credentials repository. And let's see. Display name equals this. So that's going to be the default display name. Default avatar URL is going to be empty. And then just for now, oops, because we only have -1 minute, I'm going to check the user OAuth credentials repository. User OAuth credentials, and we'll say find by, we'll do find one by, we'll do type, do source type, and we'll do, let's double check. Let's do, we have type and we have remote token, remote ID, there we go. So type is that remote ID. So essentially what this is doing is if somebody's already registered with Astrocasts with these values, we're just going to use those. Remote ID is going to be author ID. And we'll do UOC. And I think, does this throw an exception? I can't remember. We'll see what happens. User auth credentials. Try. And then any exception we get, we're going to ignore. And then if we do get user auth credentials, we can do display name equals get display name. avatar URL equals user auth credentials, get avatar. Let's see if this works. Awesome. So it looks like for some reason Joe's doesn't work, which is totally fine. I'm okay with that. Let's see what it was actually trying to do here. Oh, null. All right. Get avatar. Let's try this. There we go. So if it's null, then we'll get that, which is good. So that was actually me on Discord. So let's see if I can do settings, connections. I am on Discord. Not sure why I don't have a valid URL. Oh. Way too much going on here. All right, so we do have Joe, but I don't know. Oh, we have no avatar URL for Joe originally. So that's where this one comes from. And this one here appears to be out of date. No, that's there. I don't know why that one's not showing up. So I'm going to do a message on Discord. Well, on Twitch first. That looks like Joe says he's used to being broken null. And then let's go to Discord. And let's go to, just for completeness sake, let's go to Twitch, or sorry, YouTube. Let's see here, live chat. And let's see what we picked up with the bot. So the bot was picking up these messages, signing off from Discord. Doesn't look like it got anything from YouTube, but that just seems to be what happens. Still have to figure out what's going on with YouTube. I suspect if I restart the bot locally, we'll pick up a bunch of stuff from YouTube, but I don't know for sure. Oh, here we go. So this is another message we got. So this is something we got yesterday, and for the life of me, I cannot understand what the problem was. But the issue is that the container was actually created when the consumer started. But since then, we've been doing development. And since we're in development mode, I think it keeps rebuilding the container and it gets a different ID or gets a different random name. So debug project, dev debug project container, whatever it is that I'm looking for, next page token handler service. I apparently hadn't used that yet from the first time that we ran the bot, or from the first time we ran the consumer. So it's looking it up lazily, and it's looking it up in a place that it used to look for this, but no longer has it. So it's kind of weird why that actually showed up, but that's the way it is. All right, so let's go ahead now and take a look at this bit here again. So let's go to our stream. Oh, it's already picked up the new things, and it's actually picking up the right avatars from me as well. So anybody who's actually in the DB already, it's showing up. The next thing that we need to do is to make, I think this is what we'll work on tomorrow, is making this chunk of code a little smarter. So it can look locally for this information if we have it, If we don't, so for like, if you have somebody coming in to Twitch that has never been to astrocast.com, we need to look it up on Twitch to find out their display name. And then we should add a little bit of caching stuff in here as well. So this is, I'm pretty excited about this. This is working about like I thought it would. We're still having some weird issues with YouTube. But again, I think I just need to take that offline. It works in theory, not so much in practice. So thank you for joining today and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks.